This one is a patron vote winner and the theme is longing. And this song was picked up by Rod Stewart because he was missing his home when he lived in America. So let's give his very distinct voice a listen.
I am sailing home again across the sea. I am sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free.
So it's really interesting because Rod Stewart has a really distinct voice because, so I've read he had nodules, and nodules are like a little hard callus on the vocal cords, and that makes them vibrate unevenly, sometimes allows some breath through, and you get that kind of gritty sound that Rod Stewart has. Now, it doesn't always come, with a cool voice. Some people, they're really lucky and for whatever reason it works for them. He obviously has things like great pitch and things like that as well, and control. Now, nodules can hinder control a lot. For Rod Stewart, apparently not so much. He's very lucky with that. However, he does have some problems with his voice going hoarse, or even more hoarse than it already sounds, and losing his voice a lot, and that's probably down to the nodules. So he does a lot of things, like when he's having kind of 4 concerts a week, he puts a sign around his neck saying that he can't speak and no one should speak to him, and it seems to work for him. Sometimes, if you don't have something like that, hopefully you don't have to go to that extreme, but I know singers who also do that when they don't have a nodule. So it really depends on what you're singing, how difficult the song is, and kind of how sensitive your voice is. It can be really, really individual. It just gives you that when you get to the top.
I am flying, passing high clouds to be near you, to be free. Can you hear me through the dark night, far away? I am dying, forever crying to be near you. Who can say?
What's really interesting about this is that in some ways this song is very simple and the melody is very bright. So in some voices it could sound a little bit twee, but because his voice has so much grit in it, like I really like this song, and I think that I could sing it nicely, but it would sound very twee in my voice, whereas for him it just sounds cool, and I think that is difficult in itself, and that's just down to tone and knowing what suits your voice and what you can kind of get away with and where you can push the boundaries of what pop and rock is. Now, what's also interesting about this song is that this was one of the only songs that he recorded while he was sober. He recorded it in Muscle Shoals, which is a really, really well-known recording studio. Aretha Franklin and a lot of the soul singers recorded there from that sort of era. And he went to go and record there, but it's an alcohol-free zone. And he said he was really, really nervous about it. That's another interesting thing. Something for him that, for me, drinking at all, I lose complete control of my voice. You think you sound good, and then you watch a recording back and you're like, I have lost all ability to pitch. But some people, voices are so individual, and I know people who go on massive nights out and smoke loads. I will not recommend that, but they're fine the next day. For me, No way. I cannot do that. So only you know your limits. It's much like the rest of your body. Only you know how your voice reacts to certain things. You know, of course, if you go and smoke 40 cigarettes before you go and sing, it's not going to be the best thing for you. But some people just do manage to get away with it. Ooh, nice run. Nice run. Choir sound is good for this one. You know, here we are again, him singing those higher notes and still managing to maintain control. So if you have a nodule, it means that if your vocal cords meet like this and they vibrate like that, you have a little something in the way and they kind of rub off each other. And it's caused by them, like any callus, if they're rubbing together too much, pressing your vocal cords together too tightly. Now, sometimes people... You know, there are children. I've met a child who's had a nodule, so he might have grown up with it, or it might have been from his singing technique before this. But here he does seem to be able to use his breath support. He just really understands what his voice needs. And though it is different than most people's voices, it really works because he understands that he isn't overdoing it. He isn't actually pushing. He just has this cool tone that makes it sound kind of gruff. Your voice is probably not like that. And that is okay. I also want to say that. This is Rod Stewart. He's got his own unique thing. But your voice will be beautiful in its own way. Maybe it won't be as gruff as his. Maybe it will be. But it doesn't matter. Either way, it's all about working with your voice, understanding your voice and what its limitations are and what its sparkle is, what its uniqueness is. Everyone has it. Great vowels as well. Love the change from like the rock into this classical strings. What a beautiful arrangement. Look at him whipping his hair. Beautiful song. This is an example of how things can go wrong with your voice and still be beautiful. So if you end up developing or have a vocal pathology, It's okay, you know, Rod Stewart had it the whole time and he sounds like Rod Stewart. But also, it's okay if you don't. It's not something you should aim for. It's all about working with your voice. Your voice can be beautiful, whether it has a pathology, whether you have a completely healthy voice, whether you have an unusual tone or a fast vibrato. All these things make up your unique fingerprint. And what is voice? Voice is an expression of self to me, and that's what makes it beautiful. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.